Hello and welcome to my channel Cleverpedia, and today's video, we will explore the modern history of India, specifically designed for the UPSC exam. In this video, we will cover the key events, personalities, and movements that have shaped modern India since the 18th century. Part 1. British colonialism and the Indian independence movement. The modern history of India begins with British colonialism, which started in the 18th century and lasted until India gained its independence in 1947. British colonialism had a profound impact on Indian society, economy, and politics. It resulted in the exploitation of India's resources, the destruction of its industries, and the suppression of its people. It was driven by several causes, such as: first, economic. The British saw India as a source of raw materials and a market for their goods. They established a system of economic exploitation that resulted in the destruction of India's industries and the impoverishment of its people. Second, political. The British wanted to establish their political dominance over India and used divide and rule policies to weaken Indian resistance to their rule. Third, cultural. The British believed that their culture was superior to Indian culture, and sought to impose their language, religion, and customs on Indian society. However, the Indian people did not accept British colonialism passively. They launched a powerful independence movement, which was led by a series of visionary leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Subhash Chandra Bose. The independence movement was marked by various forms of protests, including non-violent resistance, civil disobedience, and armed rebellion. Part 2. The struggle for independence and partition. The struggle for Indian independence reached its peak in the early 20th century when the Indian National Congress, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, launched a mass movement against British colonialism. This movement eventually led to India's independence in 1947. The Indian independence movement was a powerful response to British colonialism and was driven by several causes, such as: first, nationalism. Indians wanted to reclaim their identity and sovereignty, and to establish a national identity that was distinct from British colonialism. Second, economic. Indians wanted to end British economic exploitation, and to promote economic development that was based on Indian priorities. Third, social. Indians wanted to end social discrimination and inequality, and to establish a society that was based on social justice and equality. The Indian independence movement had several effects on Indian society, such as: first, political. India gained its independence in 1947 and established a democratic system of government that was based on the principles of secularism, democracy, and socialism. Second, economic. India established a planned economy that focused on industrialization and self-reliance, and promoted the welfare of its people. Third, social. India implemented policies that promoted social justice and equality, such as reservations for historically marginalized communities, and implemented laws that prohibited discrimination on the basis of caste, gender, or religion. However, the process of independence was marred by the tragedy of partition, which resulted in the division of India into two separate countries, India and Pakistan. The partition resulted in widespread violence and the displacement of millions of people, causing long-lasting wounds that continue to affect India and Pakistan to this day. Part 3. Post-independence India and the Nehruvian era. After India gained its independence in 1947, Jawaharlal Nehru became the country's first prime minister. He led India through its early years as a sovereign nation, focusing on economic development, social reform, and the promotion of democracy. But after India gained its independence, it faced several challenges, such as: first, economic. India's planned economy faced several challenges, such as bureaucratic inefficiency, corruption, and a lack of private investment. These challenges resulted in low economic growth and a slow pace of development. Second, political. India's democratic system faced several challenges, such as corruption, communalism, and regionalism. These challenges resulted in political instability and a lack of effective governance. Third, social. India's social policies faced several challenges, such as a lack of implementation and enforcement, and a lack of inclusivity. These challenges resulted in persistent social inequality and discrimination. The Nehruvian era saw the establishment of India as a secular democracy, with a commitment to socialist principles and non-alignment in international affairs. India also made significant strides in industrialization, science, and technology, and became a leader in the non-aligned movement. Part 4: Economic Liberalization and Globalization. In the 1990s, India underwent a major transformation as it embraced economic liberalization and globalization. This period had several effects on Indian society, such as: first, economic. India's economy grew rapidly, and became more integrated with the global economy. This resulted in increased private investment, job creation, and income growth. However, it also led to growing inequality and environmental degradation. Second, political. India's political system became more market-oriented and opened up to foreign investment and trade. This resulted in a more stable political environment and a more business-friendly climate. However, it also led to greater corporate influence on policymaking and a concentration of economic power. Third, social. India's social policies became more inclusive and focused on reducing poverty and promoting social justice. This resulted in improved social indicators, such as literacy rates, life expectancy, and access to basic services. However, it also led to growing tensions between different social groups, particularly in relation to caste, religion, and gender. This period saw the dismantling of the Licence Raj, the opening up of the Indian economy to foreign investment, and the growth of the IT and services sectors. Social changes, such as the rise of a new middle class, the emergence of new consumer markets, and the growth of a more assertive civil society. Part 5: Contemporary India and Challenges Ahead. Today, India is a rapidly developing country with a diverse and dynamic population. However, it also faces a range of challenges and opportunities, such as: first, economic. India needs to continue to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth while addressing issues of inequality, poverty, and environmental degradation. It also needs to strengthen its infrastructure and promote innovation and entrepreneurship. Second, political. India needs to maintain its democratic institutions and principles while ensuring that they are accountable and transparent. It also needs to address issues of corruption, communalism, and regionalism. Third, social. India needs to continue to promote social justice while addressing issues of discrimination, violence, and intolerance. It also needs to improve its social infrastructure, such as healthcare, education, and housing. Fourth, global. India needs to navigate its role in the global community, as a rising power and a leader of the developing world. It also needs to address issues of security, diplomacy, and cooperation, particularly in relation to its neighbors and strategic partners. The Indian government is working hard to address these challenges, with initiatives such as Make in India, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Digital India, and Ayushman Bharat. Thank you for watching this video on the modern history of India. We hope that this in-depth analysis of the major causes and effects that have shaped India's history has provided you with a comprehensive understanding of the country's past, present, and future. As one of the world's most populous and culturally diverse countries, India has a rich and complex history that continues to shape its political, social, and economic landscape today. By exploring India's past, we can gain valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for this dynamic and rapidly developing nation. Whether you are an aspiring civil servant or simply interested in learning more about India's history, we encourage you to continue to explore this fascinating country and its many unique attributes. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the modern history of India.